So the first time I sat down on this and tried to get comfy, I realized that I was like a little baby child on a high chair.
Moxie, Greg, and I are riding around the world to raise $100,000 for the nonprofit Girl Up. We're donating 10% of RUFFLY sales to the fundraiser and posting a new episode every week. It's a big dog on two wheels adventure for girls' empowerment. So follow along and please lend your support.
We have arrived, and perhaps just as importantly, all of our goodies and groceries have arrived as well. In this case, we actually had me being the lead and Jess behind me so that she could be a spotter, not for wildlife this time, but for anything shaking loose or rattling on my bike that was bound to fall off.
This is a dry cabin. So they have electricity, so they've got heat as well. They've got a fireplace, they've got all of the kitchen stuff, an oven, a stove. But what they don't have is plumbing, indoor plumbing.
But no trouble. You know why? Because I am a master packer, and I packed the shit out of my bike just the way you're supposed to do it, thinking about gravity, thinking about friction, thinking about other elements of physics. As for a GoRUFFLY around the world essential, what does this place have?
This place has squirrels.
No.
No.
It has Wi-Fi. It has very fast Wi-Fi, apparently.
It does. Well, fast as...
Supposedly fast as fast is. So they have actually water coming in just to a kitchen sink.
Yeah, and I think that they've got like a tank up there that I saw. The water that comes out of the tap here in the kitchen is fed by a 50-gallon tank that's sitting up in the loft. And it's basically half full, so it looks like I guess we have 25 gallons of water to use for the time that we're here, which is about 5 days.
No showers.
So we will have to set up our own sort of showering system, probably just right here, and heat some hot water and then use our normal camping shower in the morning. The issue with the water is that it doesn't have an outtake. It basically just comes and pours down into a bucket, which is your gray water, and then when that's full, you need to go and chuck it in the garden back here.
As a Moxie bonus,
this place has squirrels. That keeps her occupied so that we can work.
That is why it is a bonus.
Yeah, okay. For drinking water, they've got these two little jugs, probably 1 gallon each. And then there also is water in the fridge in the Brita water thing.
Usually what happens is Moxie rests the first day no matter what, and then she comes back to life by the end of the first day. And then our lives get increasingly more difficult.
And I read in the Welcome to the Cozy Cabin intro book that there is a place where you can get water for like 3 cents a gallon, I think it said, or something like that, in town. Challenge here is like, how much water can we really carry on the motorcycles, and do we really want to do that?
There are squirrels up these trees. They are unmistakable in the noises they make. And she's drinking water, rainwater, off the top of that trash can. Bad sign. We need to water her. This is going to keep her super busy. She's going to be hunting squirrels, probably quite unsuccessfully, for the next 5 days.
That's one aspect of this cozy cabin that was not on the Airbnb description. I thought we were going to have unlimited water. It's just that we would have to, that the water is being brought in by the city and we could just dump out the gray water.
So a really good thing about our dry cabin here is that there is a fenced area that connects to the deck, to the porch, which means that Moxie can roam around here to her heart's content. These trees, Moxie, are yours. Guard them well. Let not a squirrel come down from them.
I had asked our Airbnb host if I could have stuff sent to this cabin, and she said yes. And so that means we received some goodies. We have one huge box and one medium smallish box. If you like what we're doing, here's how you can support the GoRUFFLY Around the World adventure. You can donate to our Girl Up fundraiser, become a Patreon supporter, purchase RUFFLY gear for your dog and everyone you know, and of course, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much, and now back to the adventure.
Good morning and good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in this world. We're going to do another Alpine Stars Instagram live chat. We're going to be doing it with GoRUFFLY.
This is the outhouse for the dry cabin. So basically you come out here and you do your business. I have to imagine that in the cold months of the year, this could be pretty brutal. Right now, no problem. You can come out in your skivvies. Wintertime, I'd be very curious to not have to experience that.
Does the audience, to everybody watching, do you see that it's a little pixelated? Tracksuit for the dog. People are already commenting.
So the first time I sat down on this and tried to get comfy, I realized that I was like a little baby child on a high chair.
So, Jess, why don't you tell everybody, that's watching right now from all over the world, like, what are you doing and what's going on here? You got a dog on a bike. You guys are traveling around the world. What's going on here?
So we're currently on an around the world trip.
Now, a standard toilet seat measures 17 to 19 inches from the floor to the bowl, okay, top of the bowl. And then maybe the seat thing gives you another inch or two. Let's call it 2. Well, we are at 22. Now, here's the thing. We've got some warpage going on, and that is like killing us, right? That's like a good 2.5, 3 inches.
And now we are currently in Fairbanks, Alaska, making our push up to the Arctic Ocean.
Wow.
But let me saddle Moxie up so you can see what it's like. Moxie, come.
Cool.
Good girl.
So a lot of people were chiming in. Whoa. Wow.
So this was already at the high side of those 17 to 19 inches. It's past it. It's 19 and a half. Then we have warpage, which is putting us at about 22. Then we have the bowl thingy that you sit on, right? And that, if I can be generous here, generous is 23. I would really say 23 and a half. So when you start factoring those pieces in, that explains why all of a sudden you're in this very awkward position.
So what was the training to get her to be able to do that?
It took a weekend. It really didn't take long. It took a lot of treats and patience. But she, like you saw her here, she basically just leapt right up. The hardest part is getting them used to being in the harness and being restrained in the cockpit. Because if we're going slow and she sees something, she's going to want to go for it.
So without doing a full demonstration, what I will show is how have I been doing it. Now, first of all, we have our folding step stool that was pleasantly provided for us in the corner. And so apparently they know this is a thing. And so we've been using the step stool when we're doing number 2. For number 1, I get a little bit more athletic.
How does Moxie handle riding in the rain?
Moxie has a rain fly that goes over her.
No way.
Has a full rain fly that goes over the cockpit. She even has a hood. So if it's raining really, really hard, we put a hood over her. It basically connects with her rec specs.
So what I have tended to do is this, okay? And that way I can use my knees to get to a level and to position myself such that I can get a good aim, a good distance, and not make a mess. Well, maple syrup is the primary export of Canada, right? That's pretty much all Canada makes. I mean, it's the whole economy is really based around maple syrup as far as anybody knows. However, syrup is kind of for pussies, To make it, you just boil the sap and then that's the syrup, and it's ultra sweet, and you just drizzle it on. So we went for maple butter.
Yeah. There's a protector plastic thingy here.
And butter is salt of the earth type stuff. Butter is made by churning. I mean, you gotta put some elbow grease in, you gotta churn it. We just got to the Howling Dog Saloon in Fox, Alaska, which is just a bit outside of Fairbanks.
She has 3 little wiener dogs. She's in cabin A around the corner.
Cool.
Joe just pulled in. He's in 6, and his wife and his son is going to be in 4, so we'll be on both sides.
Oh, cool.
They got a little furry fluffy dog or whatnot.
Okay.
We had an opportunity to meet Ralph, who's the owner of the place, and he is really not any kind of character, very, very sort of subdued personality.
We've only had a few short phone conversations, but I have a motorcycle problem. I have 20 motorcycles. And the problem is I don't have all the ones I want.
Barely at all interested in motorcycles.
My oldest one is a 1935 Indian Dispatch Toad. I only have 2 dogs on it right now. That's Oofta.
Oofta.
He was 110 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And that's Jake, my brother's little Aussie cow dog.
And definitely is not a dog person.
So I know about
Motorcycle
when you're
dog carriers.
on a motorcycle and you've got a dog in back and you got a bunch of kids in the Subaru going wee and yeah and hi and you know doggy and all that. So I know what you guys are seeing when you're going down the road because we've done that ourselves here. One more little problem. This bar is just a can of worms and we have a lot of fun here. But everybody has recently walked off with every key to cabin 5 that I put out there.
So check on sort of all the things that really connect with us.
And I always say working dogs are the luckiest dogs on earth because they know what they're here to do.
Exactly, they've got a job and they
But
can just do it.
To them it's not work, it's play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just this really sort of nice basic setup, just what you need to kind of pull your bike in and have a nice sort of, you know, outdoor experience, but be kind of kept comfortable and kept out of the elements and take a load off in between your long travels.
Well, there's a lot of history here. The dogs started in 1968, about 10 miles west of town in a little town called Esther.
Okay.
And then it moved up here in about 74, I think. And this was the Fox General Store, the dining room and the game room. The cafe got added on. The middle bar is another building that got drug into place. The dance hall got built during the pipeline boom.
So we are super excited. This is my excited face. Definitely does not look at all like my normal face.
We're told by musicians this room has the best acoustics, the best sound of any club in town. And it's because of all the junk on the walls.
And there is Wi-Fi, of course, in the restaurant area. And there is like 3 or 4 bars of LTE here in the area. So really, what else do you need if you are riding around the world with a big dog on the back and trying to run your business at the same time? Pretty much, this is perfect.
Okay, for the musicians, the bad joke is difference between a guitar player and a pizza. A pizza can feed a family of 4. We yanked down a U.S. flag with 50 stars on it, and we put this one up. That is a 49-star flag.
Oh, wow.
And that's very rare because statehood, it was 48, and then boom, Alaska became a state. Now we had 49 stars. A matter of months, Hawaii jumped on, and we had 50 stars. So those are kind of hard to come by.
So the plan here is to spend a couple of days and get some more work done. And that really puts us at a great launching off point for hitting back into the Yukon and reaching Dawson City along the top of the World Highway.
Some Harley guys really laugh at this, but the difference between a Harley-Davidson and a Hoover vacuum cleaner, the Hoover's got the dirt bag on the inside.
We had this nice rustic cabin that had electricity, it had heat, it's got a water jug in there as well. It's got a kettle. It had everything that we needed and a nice fleecy blanket for the evenings and at night.
This is the purple carpet on the holy stage of the Howling Dog Saloon. It's got a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, and a little bit of spilt beer and bourbon and whatnot on it nowadays.
So we are ready to go. We are gonna be going today to the top of the world highway, at least starting it. And maybe we'll see some more animals along the way. That's what I always like to look for.
Mixture of gravel roads,
Yep.
tarmac, road that's under repair that doesn't really have a designation. Break time after leaving Fairbanks, and we found this beautiful spot along the river here, and it is windy AF.
I found this little walkway here thinking that it was gonna be less windy. You can see it's still a little bit.
We also have found something very interesting that is unique about this place. Tasting all the puddles. There is a school desk here. Why there's a school desk? Who knows? That could be a great mystery that we'll never have an answer to. Maybe it's sort of a school of life type thing, and maybe we'll start seeing school desks like randomly wherever we're going, wherever there's an important lesson to learn.
Look at this tail. Spa day. She didn't get rid of her mud bath. Look at that paw.
I hope she paws you during the ride.
We're here at Thompson Eagle Claw Motorcycle Park. It's like a private campground for motorcyclists. And Ralph from the Howling Dog Saloon was the one who told us about this place. And he mentioned that they have some like unique places you can stay. And one of the unique ones is the ambulance.
What's happening here?
Moxie needs her face rubbed and she's all worked up because she thinks we're staying for the night, and so that means she can get down.
Really, like, the adventure begins.
The adventure begins because this is the precursor to the Dempster. So we are going to be doing this stretch that brings us up into Chicken, Alaska, and then we'll actually cross over into the Yukon again. We've been waiting for this for a long time, so it is...
A lot of build-up. Time to climax.
Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the episode. So right now I'm coming to you from Mexico. You can probably hear some of the Mexican polka in the background, and I'm sure you're going to hear some of the construction that's going on. And you've probably seen in some of these talks that I have with you at the end of the videos that I'm in sort of random places. And that's because I film these when we're on the road during our work days. And that's what I wanted to come and talk to you about today. Where we pick these places, why I pick them, and how I pick them. So you saw in this episode that we were in Fairbanks. We were at that cool, dry cabin. It was a really sort of unique experience. And that's something that I love to look for when finding places to stay for our work days. So for those of you who don't know, we ride for 4 days out of the week. And in those days that we're riding, we're camping for the most part. And then we work for 3 days out of the week. And that means that we're either in an Airbnb, a motel, or a hotel. And it's during those 3 days that we cram in 5 days worth of work. So we really need to be effective. And the work that we're doing is we have our brand RUFFLY, it's ethical outdoor dog gear, and our team is based in Guatemala and we manage it remotely. So we do all dog gear, collars, leashes, beds, bandanas, all of that, which we sell internationally. And then we also have the K9 Moto Cockpit, which is the carrier that Moxie rides in. So all of that needs to be taken care of, along with all of the videos that we do and the social media and all of our partner relations. So all of that needs to be done in 3 days out of the week. So it's really important that the places that we stay at can be comfortable enough for us to feel good about working and getting what we need done. So there are a couple things that I make sure of when I'm searching. One, obviously that it has really good internet. That's been sort of tough in different places depending on where we are, because I also like to find sort of more remote areas. We're not really going to pick a place that's in the middle of a city center. We're more likely to pick something in a small town or in a rural village or something like that. So I have to really just make sure that the place that I pick does have strong internet, because we need to be able to upload videos. We need to be able to download content that we're working on. We need to be able to communicate with our team in Guatemala with Zoom calls. We need to be able to upload the videos that Greg does for the cockpits to our customers. All of that requires pretty decent internet. And so that's what I look for as number one. Number two, secure parking for the bikes. So that's a really important thing for me, because I don't want to feel like I'm anxious all day long that something could be happening to the bikes, especially at night. So I either make sure that it has like secure parking in terms of a gated area, or if it's a garage, or if there's a guardian or somebody watching over the bikes at night. Something where I don't feel like they're just sitting on the roadside, where potentially my giant loop bags could be taken off of my bike because they're just strapped onto the bike. Those types of things. I don't want to be thinking about that when I need to cram 5 days into 3 for working. So those are two things that I really am concerned about when I look for places. And it's without saying that they have to be pet friendly. And for Moxie, because she's on the bike all day long, when we get to a place on the first day out of the 3, she's normally pooped. So she just wants to sleep. So she's just resting. She recuperates for the day. And then the other 2 days, then she gets a little crazy. Then she needs activity. She needs to be going out for walks. She needs to run free. She gets to be, she's a normal dog again with a lot of energy. So being in a city center, which I said is not something that we like to pick, it's hard because most of those places are going to be like a high-rise apartment or a condo or something like that, or in a really congested area. And we came upon that situation in Mexico City when we were on our way up, and we stayed in a high-rise condo. So that meant every time Moxie needed to go out, we had to go down the elevator, we had to walk across this huge parking area, and then there was a little gravel patch where she could go to the bathroom. Not ideal. And along the way there were no sidewalks, so it's not like I could take her for a nice stroll. It would require us basically getting back on the bike and riding to a park to allow her to have space so that she could run. And then even then, obviously, she has to be on leash, and I like it when Moxie can run free, and so does she. So it's not the ideal thing for us to be in a city. So what I do look for are places that are either unique, like in our Fairbanks dry cabin, something that is a little bit different, because it's like you can find an Airbnb in a city center that's just pretty generic anywhere you go. It doesn't have any character to it. But I like something a little bit different. So the dry cabin was one, and then it's either the place or it's the location. Because we're working during the day, if the place that when we're there for the 3 days, we normally don't get out until either the evening or we get out in the early morning. And so it's at those times where we get a chance to really explore the area. So I want a place that's going to be fun to look at in the evening and take Moxie for a walk and check it out. So a place like Revelstoke in BC, that was really cool with the cabin that we had, and we were able to walk into town. Beautiful scenery, got to take great photos. It was just a nice place. Or Jamestown, California, when we finished the Iron Tail in the middle of the night. Those days that we were working there, we got to just sort of stroll up and down the main road, small, cute town in California. Just like sort of sightseeing as we went. That's what brings me pleasure. The other good thing about those types of places is they're small, so it means that it's not this huge thing with lots of traffic. Doesn't mean that I have to get on my bike to go everywhere. It's sort of nice to have those 3 days off the bike. Obviously, if we do need to go for groceries or for anything like that, then we'll go riding again. But it's nice to be able to walk to places when we're there. So that's a thing that I look for as well. And if we are in a city or if we have an event or something and we need to be close by, then I sort of prefer to pick things really on the outskirts. either a community that's like further away, where it either is requires you to sort of ride into town if you needed something, or it's just a place that has more land. So I like those like farmhouses, or those unique stays, like the yurts and things like that. That brings me a lot of pleasure. And I know not everybody likes that type of style, but for me, if it's got a table with the 2 chairs for Greg and I to be able to work, has good internet, secure parking, and space for Moxie, that's it for us. That's all we need. I'm not looking for luxury on the road. I just need a place that's going to be comfortable so that we can work. And you know, for Moxie, she really does well anywhere. If we are in a condo or an apartment and she needs to be there, she'll deal with it. She'll bark in our faces around 5 o'clock and want to go for a run, but she'll calm down after a short walk. But you know, I just think I want her to have the best life. That's the whole point of this trip for me. Like I want her to have a really good experience. So I prefer that we're in a place that there is either a big yard where she can run free, or we could take her for a walk off leash. Those are the things that are important to me, and I think that, you know, I think that she appreciates that too. So you're gonna have to continue watching our series to figure out why we're here in Mexico and in this random place. And yeah, so don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you love our videos and you want to support, we do have a Patreon page. You can see that link below where you can donate what you can, and you'll get access to some additional content, some additional videos, and a few blogs to sort of share at this moment about what's going on, so you're more sort of up to date in our series. And don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at GoRUFFLY. That's where we are, and that's where we post some really interesting stuff, some great photos, and we really take our time to write the blogs and the messages that we have on our Instagram and Facebook pages. So if you haven't seen it, come and take a look, because I think you're gonna really enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you'll continue watching so you can see where the hell I am. And yeah, we'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.